Okay, share screen. Okay. And sorry. All right. Namaste, everyone. Today's focus is only on the Kashmir issue, what really was happening. And last session was about the merger of the states and Junagadh and other places, Bhopal, Hyderabad. Today, I did not touch that day Kashmir because that requires a whole lesson session by itself. Therefore, the mistakes that destroyed Kashmir and is still destroying. That is the relevance of it, that we were not able to correct those mistakes till today. Okay. I mean, it is being done something, but it is not enough and too late. So these are the players in the field in 1947. Hari Singh, he is the king. Sheikh Abdullah, we never talked about him. He was a major player at this point. Ramchandra Kak, he was the prime minister of Hari Singh. Nehru, Gandhi, Mountbatten. Okay. Sheikh Abdullah, a little bit about him. In the 30s, he was part of the Muslim conference. He started a Muslim conference and he was consolidating Muslims for creating Pakistan and, in fact, converting the entire India into Pakistan. So then he realized that his best bet is to align with Sheikh Abdullah, to align with the Congress, because if the power of transfer is done to Congress, then where would he be? So Jinnah is on one side and he is not even a player in the game. So he decided to merge and change the name, and that is what it became now. It still is People's Conference. And so People's National Conference. This is his background. And then because of his rebellious activities, sedition, Hari Singh had arrested him. So in 1947, Sheikh Abdullah was under arrest, and that is when everything else was happening. So Mountbatten's choice, this is extremely important. Who did not want Hari Singh to be independent? See, every other principality was given the choice that you can either merge in Pakistan or in India, or you can even remain independent. This was on the table when the power was transferred. Mountbatten suggested that Hari Singh should only have two options. He had only two options, either join India or Pakistan. So what exactly was he getting out of it is that he, in case he joins India, he will go to plan B and C, which is invade Hari Singh. So you see, this Mountbatten was really an astute player, statesman and administrator, whereas Sheikh Abdullah was a conniving person. Hari Singh placed too much faith in his Muslim population and Muslim army, units of army. And he was really not up to those games, even though he entertained Mountbatten in his villa several times. So now this is a crucial point which many people did not know until the British documents were declassified. He lied to Hari Singh that if you join Pakistan, India has no objection. Now this was amazing. This was really amazing. Nobody gave him that understanding that Nehru would agree or Patel would agree or India would agree. So he gave this assurance and understanding, a hint that you see, you have the option to join Pakistan, India won't object to it. Now, who gave him that idea? Neither Nehru nor Gandhi noticed it. And if you don't even notice it, how can you question something? So this was also a hint that the kingdom's independence was never on the table. This is again one of the things that Nehru did not know at all. But he did not know many things. This infuriated the king. The king wanted to remain independent and he did not want to be part of India and Pakistan. And this is a very large chunk of territory. And I'll show you the map. So, and then Mountbatten's choice was, if everything fails and Hari Singh still joins India, then invasion is the choice. So, when is that choice going to happen? That was when Hari Singh decides to join India. Now, the interesting thing is this, that Hari Singh wanted to wait a while and he asked for a stalemate, that postpone the decision. And that was taken as an indication by the British generals in Pakistan that we should invade. It means that he's thinking of joining India, so let's take the action. So Mountbatten knew it, he agreed to it, that this is the time, and it was Pakistan army who put the different tribes of the Northwest in front. So it looked like as if it was a Kabali operation. Actually, it was a war on India by a hostile nation. So majority of the population, now demography of the kingdom, because most of the people to this day, the propaganda is going on, mostly in the West. And of course, Pakistan is winning in the situation of propaganda. India never clarified its position. It never asserted that it has a right and the accession was complete and irrevocable. So this is where the foolishness of Nehru begins, and then it has no end. Majority of the population was Buddhist, Hindu, and Sikh. So where is the Muslim majority, and of which so much noise is made that it is a Muslim majority state? It was not. Muslim majority was only in the 5 districts of the valley. Pulwama was one, Kulgam was another, Srinagar, and Anantnag, and I think Baramulla was also there. So, except these 5 centered in the valley, everybody was mixed, but majority Hindu and Sikh and Buddhist. So, the Muslim majority question did not arise. Had there been a plebiscite at that moment, at that time, India would have won in the plebiscite. But then they were going, whatever Mountbatten says is honest truth. So, in the northwestern part of Kashmir, there were Shia tribes and Hindu Sikh traders and jamindars. They were owners of orchards and different, and they also had included the agriculturists who were very rich. And the Muslims who were there in that area, they were basically, what would you call, the servants or the farmers under them who were doing the workers. But the owners were Hindu, Sikhs, and Jamindar. This was also a kind of rancor that the Muslims were not doing much progress in preceding years and decades as the Hindus were. So this area was Gilgit, Sukardo, Chitral, Baltistan, all the way to the northwest. Extremely important area. This area touches China, Afghanistan, Russia, Soviet Union at that time, and of course, India. So how important is that area? The border towns had Muslim tribes, Hindus and Sikhs. Ladakh was 90% Buddhist. Now, this is the demography. This is very important. This was in 1947. And this map should have been a little large, but you can see this is where Gilgit is, and this is Baltistan here, and this is Afghanistan over. This side is China and Pakistan. Now, see how it is carved out. It was the entire state that was Jammu and Kashmir, this area. So now look at that, what we have. Nehru gave the impression to Patel and to Mountbatten that I can forego Gilgit and Baltistan. Who gave him the authority? How could he say that I am willing, as if India is his property, and after the accession for Kashmir, he can give that area, you see, to Pakistan. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, and the extent of the folly, did he know the geography of this area? How big is this area? And how strategic is this boundary line? And you are willing to give it to Pakistan? So that is the extent of Hari Singh's kingdom. And I already gave the demographic. Now let's see what happened after the developments of invasion and everything. After the invasion, when the ceasefire happened, and that also, when India was winning, they had already reached this part, and that is when, and then the Mountbatten came back from England. He had gone there to attend a wedding, and when he came back, he saw that India had intruded into this part. So he was furious with Nehru that I said that you should declare ceasefire. Why didn't you? And he declared ceasefire at this. So Gulmarg and Baramulla was the last places where the boundary was. Ceasefire means the line, temporary line. But this has become the line of control, and this is the area from where the incursions are going on. This is the area which they have occupied of Kashmir. This is the area which they declared as Azad Kashmir. This is Azad Kashmir. So one can understand, and these areas were illegally given by Pakistan to China. This is Siachen Glacier, which Manmohan Singh, as a prime minister, was willing to give it to China. I mean, one can understand. I don't have any strong words to condemn all these stupidities. So this is Siachen, where most of the Kargil war and other things are happening. And this is being developed by India now, so that we have an upper hand. So at this glacier, he was willing to give, and the army said no way. And otherwise, this chunk would also have gone. And Aksai Chin was taken over by China, unnoticed by anybody, not knowing the geography. Now comes what happens. During the negotiations, going back a little bit, the Sheikh was, when Hari Singh said that I'm willing to join India and please save Kashmir. And Nehru waited 2.5 days, during which major massacre occurred in that 10 miles inside that line of control. And a lot of casualties. Many of them were Muslims. So in a frenzy, nobody knows, who they are killing. They're simply killing. So when that happened, and the ceasefire line of control happened, and the matter went to United Nations at the advice of uh, this Mountbatten, and even then he did not accept the accession of Hari Singh. He did not send the army. Why? He said, my condition is that you should be exiled. Sheikh Abdullah should be the prime minister of this area, and he should be released, obviously. So now this is a very bad situation, which they should not have agreed. Why did they impose? Nobody else was imposing. And nobody, even Mountbatten, never asked that part. He knew that Nehru will be doing it. So, abrogation, now, how the Sheikh plays the card. Sheikh is declared the prime minister. Then Hari Singh goes into exile. No one knows, but Yuvraj came, and his queen also came to India. And then Sheikh started negotiating in 1949. By this time, Pakistan is still occupying. Negotiations are going in the United Nations about the dispute. Now, this is the word, dispute. Is this a dispute or is it an invasion? There are two different issues, and this is how you tackle them. If it is an invasion, you counter it. If it is a dispute, then that means two parties have to resolve, and third party has to be the referee for that. While this was going on, the stage show, Sheikh Abdullah was part of that team that went to United Nations. Another bozo, absolutely clueless Indian, Gopal Iyengar, he and Sheikh went. So Iyengar didn't know how to present his position. Sheikh was talking independence privately, and they did not know how to present a case. They thought that dharma means humility. You are fighting for your rights and you are being humble. Who are you trying to impress? So, and now Sheikh said that my condition is that I'll be the prime minister. Kashmir will be autonomous, semi-autonomous state, even though it was considered part of India's 15th state. But the Sheikh said that I should be the prime minister. And we will have a constitutional assembly of our own, and that will make the constitution of, and we have our own flag. Now that means within the country called India, we have two constitutions, two flags, and two prime ministers. And the day it was declared that it is a semi-autonomous state, Nehru was present in the inauguration. I mean, think of all these scenarios. How would you go there? How would you bless them like that? So, separate constitution. And then at the podium, while Nehru was smiling, standing next to him, he declared, Sheikh declared, "Ye mulk hamara hai, iski hukumat hum karenge." You see, that means the country is ours and we are going to rule it. So what became then India? India was pouring money, about 50% of the budget that was allotted to the states, that was going to Kashmir. So I met in one of my visits to India, I met a truck driver, very old. And he said, you know, we have a crew of truck drivers. hired by the Indian government. And in the 50s and 60s, and from that time onwards, we deliver rice first. We start from Hyderabad side and Karnataka side and go all the way to Kashmir, and we sell it for 1 rupee a kilogram. And then those sheikhs and muftis and all of those people, they were selling to the public for $5 and pocketing $4. So this was, I have a habit of, getting into conversation with different kind of people and finding out the ground realities. India virtually became a colony of J&K, sending military, getting killed, getting a bad name also. While the Indian army is being killed, the whole world is crying that there are atrocities by the military on Muslims and Muslim majority. So you see, we don't know, and we have not learned to create a logo, to create a unifying point and slogan to counter all this propaganda till this day. And developments of the war. Indian army intervenes, makes advances, could have won the entire state. Kulwant Singh was the commander there, Kriyappa was there, and they did not want to obey Mountbatten. And we are winning. But United Nations intervened, ceasefire were declared. What is the British stand on in the United Nations? Now the dialogue shifts from the war into the United Nations organization, right? So we'll see the British stand briefly, United States, and what the UNO finally decided in 1948. British stand was, and I highlighted, made it red, so that you know the importance of this word. Pakistan may retain the raiders in the occupied area. You see, which means the Pakistan occupied area has what raiders? The Pakistan army. May means nothing. That means Pakistan is allowed to have the army in that area. India should withdraw its troops to the Hindu majority area, which means all the troops vacate the valley and go and concentrate in Jammu. In other words, the British wanted that entire Kashmir, except Jammu, should be given to Pakistan. And valley remains a buffer zone. If it remains independent under Sheikh, it is a buffer zone. Sheikh Abdullah's government should be dissolved. And they didn't want Sheikh Abdullah. He was a character by himself. Instead, the British said that neutral United Nations Commission should be appointed, and that should administer the Hari Singh's state, kingdom. So until the final resolution is done. This was the British. America was strongly against this. What is this? Along the religious lines, you are dividing Hindu majority and Muslim majority in Kashmir. It was not done in Hyderabad. It was not done anywhere else. And here you are dividing. So Ladakh, Kashmir Valley, and Jammu should be separated. Includes Pakistan occupied territory, Assassination, which was illegally seized. The entire kingdom surrendered by the kingdom in 1947, legally belongs to India. You see, this is something important that America at that time argued. America argued for India that as per the accession, they have become part of India unconditionally, irrevocably. And the entire kingdom belongs to India. So this was the American argument under Truman. And he did not divide the kingdom between Pakistan and India. You see, He did not divide the kingdom between Pakistan and India. Neither did the British prior to the transfer of India. Now, who divided at this point? Who gave this idea? Attlee at that time. And Churchill was advisor to Mountbatten. So this was the power play in the background. And United Nations, finally the United Nations. War continued, skirmishes continued all through 1948. And finally, United Nations verdict was immediate ceasefire. And these are so important that everybody in India should be aware of what the United Nations said. United Nations did not agree to POK. They did not agree to Azad Kashmir. And please, as much as possible, if you want to circulate pamphlet in India, so that just highlighting this slide, I would really appreciate, because it is about time that our position is made clear to the world. And we don't take it lying down. So, and it says all Pakistani nationals must evacuate. And the Pakistan Army, tribals, all the other players, those tribal outfits must withdraw, vacate the area. This is what the United Nations body was. In the meantime, the local authorities would continue to govern the state, which means the king's people and Indian administration. It was unclear as to who were the local authorities in the POK. Probably the tribals or probably the Shia Muslims. This part was unclear, but it was considered as in favor of India. Once Pakistan completely vacated the entire area, then only the Indian army would reduce its strength. Now see, Indian army was not going to leave the place because it is their territory. It is the 15th state. They are bound to protect, not along the ceasefire, but the entire. So they wanted to keep the Indian army. They may reduce their strength because they are now no longer at war. But it only happens when Pakistan completely vacated the entire area. So when the normal conditions return, the will of the people of Kashmir will be ascertained. Normal conditions. Now, going back to all these 75 years, did the normal conditions come for the plebiscite? No. And yet Pakistan is insisting, because they have kicked out the Hindus from the valley, they have killed so many, and probably with all the infiltration going on along the border, there is a Muslim majority, especially in the valley itself. So when the normal conditions return, normal conditions never came, would not have come, given the kind of leader we had and the kind of parliament we had. That was not a possibility. Because soon after that, this is 1949, end of 49 actually. And in 1950, Patel died, and the whole issue was being handled by that incompetent Gopal Iyengar. This was interpreted by Pakistan that a plebiscite would be held, regardless. And Pakistan did not withdraw, and the fighting continued. And this reality of the last two sentences prevails today, in spite of a revocation of 370. Now, the following question, this is last slide, and my questions is to the next generation, to the Indians, and even to those who are staying like global diaspora. First of all, get educated. Know what was the verdict. How did the question of Azad Kashmir Jamhuriyat came? It is not even theirs to give it to China. So in this entire scenario, where is the room for plebiscite? Can we do this propaganda? Flashing back that conditions of the United Nations, their verdict, is there a room for plebiscite? Okay. So this should be a propaganda point, a diplomacy point. Keep on repeating, even to non-listeners, because eventually it will drop. Did Pakistan vacate the area to meet the condition? How did POK become Azad Kashmir? Who made them Azad? One, they have used the word Pakistan occupied Kashmir. How does it become Azad? It is occupied by an invading army. How did J&K become a disputed territory? You see, along the line, the Western propaganda and even Indians who are writing papers, I see many papers in the academic journals written by Indians. I'm not sure whether they are secular of a kind or they are Christians or they are paid people by some agency, Western agencies. I don't know. But when I see those papers where they mentioned J&K disputed territory, no mention of POK and Indian atrocities of Indian army and the Muslim population and how they are being treated. And my next probably exploration or research would be that how did American policy change? How did that happen? And when did that happen? So these are some of the questions which need a diplomatic, on the diplomatic way, talking points. Raise these questions again and again and again in your own papers, on different platforms, forums, everywhere. This should be the propaganda point, talking point, diplomatically. And diplomats should also do that. And change in American. This everybody should figure out when that happened, because I had not enough time to figure it out. I have to go back to American history to find that out. Having said that, this is the last slide. And there was a lot of material that was left undiscussed, undisclosed also. And the bottom line is that these people did not know the extent of Hari Singh's kingdom, the boundaries. They did not understand about the strategy, the strategic value of the boundaries, and why everybody else was interested in having that area, except Nehru himself, who was willing to give it. Why give it? I'm willing to give it. You see, history is a sad subject that way, that it makes you pretty upset. Okay, so this is done. Stop, share. Okay, now you can have questions.
Anyone has questions?
So this is Naresh. Hi, good morning and good evening. I have a comment and then maybe follow it up with a question. So, Auntie, my comment is on your last bullet. I think the American policy changed around 1971 under Henry Kissinger and Nixon. You remember they used the B word for Indira Gandhi at that time. They were not happy with her. In fact, during Bangladesh Liberation War, America had put its Sixth Fleet somewhere close to Pakistan, to Bay of Bengal, to dissuade Indira Gandhi. So basically, the policy was the friend's enemy is my enemy also, that kind of a policy. And India was frankly being held by Russia, which was America's enemy in Cold War. So Pakistan was seen as America's friend, also a landing ground for forces in case of a future war in Afghanistan or with Russia. So I think maybe some backroom negotiation, Pakistan asked for this change of American policy and they agreed to that. So I think it happened in that time frame. That's my comment. And my question is, India obviously has to spend a lot of money to maintain forces in Leh and Ladakh and the glaciers there. Also, Kashmir itself is not producing a lot of anything, right, of immediate value. So can you spend some time explaining the strategic value of keeping Kashmir in India, being Himalayas there, and why it's important for India to keep investing and fight to keep Kashmir as a part of India?
Yeah, for the last 3 years, since the second term of Modi began, I am hearing every other day army saying that we are ready to occupy POK. And the best time of occupying that territory is in winter. So October is the best month, November, December is the ideal, especially because from the Kargil area, we are looking down at them. So we can easily march through that line of control and liberate, especially because China has now withdrawn from that area. Most of the place is ruined by the floods, and they are very hungry and very deprived. And Pakistan did nothing to develop that area. So when they see the neighboring half of the lesson half of Kashmir prospering, and the roads and everything, and jobs and education, they are willing. If they are willing to merge, an army is ready to do the operation to liberate, I don't understand what is the hitch. You see, what are we afraid of? So that part of strategy, I am unable to understand, or probably I don't want to explore. Deep down, I may have the idea that why he's not doing, because there are too many enemies in the country at this time, and each one of them is a nuisance. There are Khalistanis, there are Christians creating all kind of mischief, blocking the nuclear plants, developments, and then of course the Muslim. So probably these domestic factors are there, and to not take any action. For inaction, these might be the reasons, but anyway, it is in their lap. The government has to do it and do it swiftly. Certain things are to be done in one go, and certain things are to be done in the halal way. So which way do you want to do it? And that is the point. And yes, 71 was the point, but it started earlier than that, especially because Nehru was a communist, and there was too much going on. The Russians were coming and had access to files and the 5-year plannings, and they are guiding, and the secularism stuff, all of this, and then declaring it as a socialist republic and changing the name. So these were the things going on in the 50s itself. The course was clear once Patel died. So the rest of them were Mahamir Tyagi resigned, Ambedkar was ignored and he gave up. And this way, a lot of games were going on. Another book might be required, why we are unable to take action and what's going on. Actually, the next part will be what was going on in the next 70 years. Legacy of Gandhi.
Yep.
Legacy.
And I think carrying this unnecessary burden of, a peaceful nation and non-violence does not help anyone. I mean, we see the example of Ukraine, right? Ukraine, when got independence from US in 92, they third largest nuclear armament in the world after US and Russia, but they gave it away after Russia, America in writing guarantee of their. And where is that? is in Ukraine now, right? So if you're somebody will, it's really that simple. And I think if somebody, they should look at Ukraine.
I have a comment in response to the previous.
Yeah, hang on. Let's go line by line. I think.
I'm
Pradeep
sorry.
Mishra, yeah. Pradeep Mishra ji is next. Then we'll get to you.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem.
Hanji Mishra ji.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was first reading your slides and listening to you, and then I looked at, Naresh ji's comments as well. And that clears a lot of things to me. And the thing is, as Naresh ji mentioned, that what is in Kashmir? Why should we keep it? And when we have, such thinking, this thinking is like a suicide. When my brother is in trouble, why should I have a profit I got? So, that mentality sickens me. And that is the reason in partition, when West Punjab was burning, Bengal was, burning, most of the in other parts did nothing. And that, thing, just sickens me. Kashmir, Arunachal, all these are our places. And in, Hindu history, they have, great significance. And we just say that they don't produce anything, they don't add value to the economy, and we don't keep them. What is the use of keeping them? One by one, we will lose everything. So now I'm seeing, some solution here. This solution is drastic, that just divide the country. Let everybody fend for himself or herself. We are not Hindu. We are not a country. They are in trouble. It is their problem. It's not my problem. So if that mentality, persists, I don't think we have any future.
Well, that is a very dismal point, conclusion. I am a fighter and I do not give up hope. So if there is a problem, I'll continue thinking of solutions. And even if I have to spend the rest of my life in understanding the problem and finding solution. So individuals have no power. One person cannot can protest, but if all of us unite, a platform is made and a forum is created for speaking freely, then it becomes a movement. There's a difference between my voice, lone voice, and Andolan. Andolan is a movement. So we have, if we give up that quickly, then that means, like Churchill said, that those who do not fight, they have accepted defeat. But those who fight, they have a fighting chance to win. I mean, this is a very apt quote. He said during the World War II. So I really would hate anybody should give up. I hate the point that the entire nation should sit back and say that we can't do anything. We can. And grassroots movement is starting. People are more aware. The very fact that there are so many people who are interested in knowing. So if each one of us send, like, we forward the messages to millions of people in one go, just by the click. Make pamphlet. I'm ready to help you. I have created pamphlets. Just send them. If it reaches or touches the conscience of some people, it's better than zero. So please keep in mind that. From my point of view, giving up is not the solution.
Yeah, Ravinderji.
Yeah, Kamlesh ji, namaskar. I have a small comment actually regarding the previous comment. I find it highly objectionable, and I can't understand this mentality give up Kashmir because why do it's a burden on us. Maybe since I'm a Kashmiri, maybe I should say give up Punjab is a burden on us because Khalistan has had a lot of damage there. This kind of mentality is something which I find very peculiar only in Hindus. I don't find it in anyone else. Thank you.
I absolutely agree that please do not give up. Even if you are not part of the solution, don't be just negative. So I may not be part of the solution, but then I'm trying.
Yeah, no, point is that you cannot say that this particular part is a burden on us, therefore we should give it up.
It's not a burden. Burden was. It was a dead burden when 90% of the budget was going before Modi came to fatten those three dynasties, Abdullah and Gilani and Muftis and all that, all traitors. So therefore, please do not give up. Giving up the territory is giving up 3 rooms of your own house. And you think because they are occupied by some goons, and that's not a solution, please. Okay, next.
Yeah. Praveenji, you're next.
Okay. So I have a couple of comments, and actually I've added more while I'm listening to other people questioning and making comments. So the first one is, why is Kashmir important to us and why should we bother to keep it? I asked that question from one of my uncles who was a colonel in the army, and I was pretty young, and I said, why are we fighting? It's a lost cause anyway. And the answer he gave me was very important. What he said is that most all of our glaciers are in that area. And we all know with climate change, water is going to be more precious than gold. And so if we don't keep control of the glaciers, which is what China is doing and has done by taking over Tibet, where is the biggest source of water in our region? It's Mansarovar. There are 4 rivers that come out of it. And I mean, I can give more details because I traveled there. China has been very astute in keeping that control, taking over the glaciers. And as Indians, we've never been taught that. So I will not forget that we need to keep a hold of as much of Himalayas as we can. The other issue is, a lot of our gurus, and enlightened, I'm not talking about the usual ones, they follow Kashmir Shaivism, okay? And we are going to say as Hindus that, oh, what is Kashmir for us? No, it is the source of Kashmir Shaivism. And so we absolutely cannot give up. The other thing is to now include Azad Kashmir or POK, we will just be adding more Muslim population. So I think I have mixed thoughts about it, because the more Muslims you add in that area, no matter if you've been kind to them, okay, they'll never be pro-India. So those are my thoughts about this question.
Kashmir is part and parcel of our heritage.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
There is absolutely all our pilgrimage places, Amarnath, and all of those places, they are part of our history, our heritage.
Absolutely.
And the beginning of some of the place of language. For example, this Sharda script is Kashmiri script. It originated there. And Punjabi script is partly Sharda script. So you see, it is, you cannot burn the history, the past. Then you will say that we should give up this area also. It is unthinkable. And especially if it is ceded willingly, why we give it away? And the point to strategic value is the source of rivers. You see, already we have given up Mount Kailash. Nehru said that nothing grows there, who cares? Let China have. What is this nonsense? Mansarovar is there, Mount Kailash is there, some of the major glaciers are there, river sources are there. That Himalaya is the largest freshwater source in the world. So giving up is not even in the cards. And please get it out of your mind. Next.
So I
Yeah.
think
You know, can I just say about
let's
the
move
rivers?
on. I think this is just
Okay.
a waste of time discussing this question. Yeah, Yudhvir ji.
Namaskar. I am from J&K. In fact, I was listening to Madam very aptly. In fact, there are so many people here basically who were basically a part of this dialogue. In fact, I am a Hindu. There are basically people who say this J&K is a burden and we should give it up. In fact, what about we people? In fact, from Kashmir Valley, Kashmiri Pandits were basically forced to leave that place. We are in a part of J&K. It is called Chenab region. And we, in fact, fought these terrorists, Muslim terrorists. And in fact, we forced them to leave us. So far as basically importance of J&K is concerned, it is historically very important. Geographically, you will see there are Himalayas. It gives us a protection from the north, in fact, from China. Then economically, there are basically forest resources, minerals like sapphire, and latest, it is lithium now. As far as basically this is concerned, religious point is concerned, we have Amarnath there, we have Vaishno Devi there. Should we leave this? In fact, I think there are basically so many people who will be telling all these basically things that we should leave Kashmir. But why?
Yeah,
We must fight.
sorry, I have to intervene because this is a complete waste of time if we are discussing rationalizing retaining Kashmir. I mean, this is even waste of time in hosting such online events where this question is going to be discussed. Let's move on. We can't. Hindus cannot be helped. This is a race that has just decided to commit suicide.
Yeah, collective suicide.
Can't believe we are having this discussion. Let's move on.
Actually,
does anyone have any question on Gandhi's
question
legacy?
should be on the today's presentation. Whether Kashmir should be a part, that should does not arise. It is.
Who raised this question, this nonsensical question,
So, Auntie, so in your presentation, you mentioned about Article 370 removal. I'm very happy it was removed. I think it was removed too late in the game. It should not even have been put in the place to begin with. And I put a comment to the organizer, which I'll bring up here. In America, an American citizen can go live any place within US, Hawaii, Louisiana, Alaska, wherever, and you can buy land freely. Why in India we don't give such a right to every Indian to go anywhere within the country, buy land anywhere? Because that's a policy decision, and I think that is what is preventing more mix-up. Like in America, people are getting mixed up. They don't say, I'm Californian, I'm New Yorker. They say, I'm American, right? So I think in India, we have more regional sense because I cannot freely go in Himachal Pradesh and buy land today, right? And restrictions are there all over the place. Why we can't get rid of them like Article 370?
Okay. Let's just focus back on Gandhi's legacy. Okay. Raman Nandi, you have any question? Relevant question.
Raman?
Namaskar, Kamlesh ji. This is Raman Nandi.
Namaskar ji, bahut dinon ke baad dekha.
Nice to see you again. Relevance of Kashmir, to be part of India is kind of stupid things to say. It has.
Right. Let's move on, Ramanji.
Yeah, correct. So now we have to think.
Brains are just fried up. What can I say?
Now, actually, we have to think how we can get POK and the part which is occupied by China. So, we have to go past all this 370 and everything, and we have to think how to get possession of POK and Chinese controlled Kashmir, plain and simple. So we have to explore that. And of course, about Gandhi's, I do not know if he had really anything to say in this aspect, but we have to go forward and think about those things. That is my, way of thinking at the present.
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly what the point is. And the last slide was, let us think. Put the thinking cap and see each one of us, how can we get past what happened in 1947, 48, 49. So we have to get past that. And now the last slide was kind of homework for you people to do some critical thinking in which small way we can all reverse this trend and unify the entire continuous, geographically contiguous and historically continuous culture that pervades all over the country. So as it is, we lost 1/3 of India to China and Pakistan. I mean, let's be sensible to move on. And please do the thinking part. Don't give up. Each one of us has a purpose of existence and a meaning to it. And each one of us can go past that. I can do this, but not this. I can do this much and not that much. So that is my message. I may not be able to do too much at that time, at this point in life, and I don't travel either. But I can make small little, slogans, pamphlets, and send it as, mass mailing. Social media is for that. And especially educate them the caste system. Just 1-page pamphlet I have created. And keep it in your pocket and show it to everybody who talks. Similarly about Gandhi, you see, the Mahatma apart. Let us make just a small pamphlet. These are the mistakes done. We are all agreed. Let us move. Solution. 1-page solution. 1-line solution. Doable. At least this is what I learned in administration. You can't solve a problem by closing eyes. You have to be creating a solution on the spur of the moment sometimes. So we do that. And this is my message to the next generation, that A, be knowledgeable about your history, your heritage, the culture, and B, that we are the only dharmic tradition which relates to science and has the relevance today. Others are ideology driven, whereas we are. And assertion is part of Hindu Dharma. It is Raj Dharma. So be that awaken that rajas in everybody and create pamphlets. That is the solution. Part of these sessions is not only give information what happened, but also to infuse inspiration among the younger generation who can do something positive. It is not always donations and money. It is creativity. 1-liner, 2-liners. I can help. I'm a teacher. I'll always be a teacher. So I can help if anybody else has the same kind of initiative. I can dump it in the social media. But the best place is to give it to the organizations like this one. And you do whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go with that. Okay.
Okay. With that, thank you, Kamlesh, for today's session, and then we'll meet next time in 2 weeks. And thank you for your time, and whoever joined in, thanks audience for joining in. Until next time, bye.
Thank you.
Namaskar, Kamlesh. I see you.
Very happy to see you.